like that. And then we're gonna set.
So we're still gonna have a little bit to chisel out on the ends, right?
It should be just a little round spot to chisel out. And then the key is going to be getting this to start. Sometimes two heads are better than one, particularly if one of them is mine. So me and my buddy Gary Bardwell from Bucksville Woodworks, Gary's got a particular issue with this board that we need to try to address. Gary, so tell us what's going on with that.
Well, I'm trying to build this blanket chest. It's got a joint that I'm not familiar with on the design of what I'm trying to do. So I can't figure out the best way to remove this corner of wood without having to go in and chisel the entire piece out. And so I came to Tim, hoping that Tim could maybe give me a hand on how to make that cut. And so he's setting me up, trying to help me route this out to maybe save a lot of work in the end. So I get a nice, flush, professional joint.
Good. So the solution we came up with is we marked the parameters of the cut, and we marked where the router bit's going to start, where it's going to end, and then we put a mark out here on our fence that our board's going to come up to, and we're going to start at this line. We're going to pull it down the line. When this line gets to our fence, we're going to pull it out. That should give us a nice clean cut in here that's going to start out looking kind of like this, and then we're going to move the fence back and just creep up on the line right there. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. I'm confident it's going to work well.
Good.
We're going in on that mark. Out on that mark. That gives us our initial cut, just like we expected. Good. Now if we move the fence back, loosening up one side at a time. Move that back just a little bit to get a little more cut. We're going to give it another shot. Same thing, we'll start on this line. Gets it a little deeper. Yep. Let's move our fence back. And the key with this is you only have to move one end of the fence. The fence doesn't have to be parallel because everything hinges on the center of the router bit. So we don't have to move the fence and worry about it being parallel. We can just move one side back at a time. It'll get us exactly where we need to be. Two-thirds of the way back to our spot. And our bit's right where we need it to be, so that's doing well. Take a little bit more. Just multiple passes will get it there. We don't want to chunk it out all at one time. That's way too hard on the equipment. Right there's our example. I think we'll leave it at that. And you can. This isn't your final piece. You're going to do it on a nicer piece of wood. So this gives you an idea on how to do it.
Right.
Let me grab a couple chisels while you talk to Wes about that a little bit, and we'll show you how to do the rest of it.
Yeah, eventually what we're trying to do here is, obviously this is just a scrap piece I brought in to learn how to make this joint. This is almost a half lap joint, but it's really not going to be a half lap because it's going to recess a 1-inch face board across the front here on the front of the blanket chest. And so this has to be a very precise measurement and cut in here so that flushes in there nice and sits nice and flush so that it looks and appears very, very with true craftsmanship and not just throwing something together.
Okay, now to get those corners out of there, all we do is we go to our line here. We're going to put our kind of our demarcation point there. Going to knock that off. And of course, you never try to take all that at once. Mm-hmm. You want to take it out in small increments. So we're going to start here at the front, work our way down to get that out of there. And through a process of elimination, we're going to eliminate that stuff that we don't want on there. We'll take this out of the end. So anyway, that's basically how you're going to do it. Then you'll just chip away at the little bit of excess there and get it down to where you've got a nice tight fit for your wood that's going across there. Easiest way to do it, set it up on a router table, nice short passes, let it take it out there and chisel out to get the final dimension on it that you need. So right there, I would call that our shop tip of the day.
I would say it's a great one.
Thanks, Gary.
Very cool.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.